Guten Tag, guys, and welcome to the first ever training vlog out of the dungeon. Usually, and by meaning out of, I mean not training vlog coming from you out of the dungeon, but out of the dungeon in terms of not in the dungeon, just to get that clear. Usually here on the first floor of the gym or the ground floor, there are gym classes, like group classes held, and the free trainings area is in the basement, but today there were no classes, or the day I was training here, there were no classes, so I was able to train on the ground floor. Main reason for doing that was because I thought maybe the camera quality would be better with some more sunlight, but yeah, trainings footage looks as grainy as ever, so I don't think it made much of a difference. Now I've got a new phone, so from now on I think the quality will be better than with the camera, although I still don't know why. But anyway, that's beside the point. This trainings day was, I think, about a week ago now, and it was snatches and upper body stuff. As always, I'm gonna be talking about the training a bit, but I'm also gonna be talking about the future training and what happened up until now, basically. So yeah, when I started filming these vlogs, I wanted to make sure that I have a few in the bank, and it worked, so I kind of could post them quite regularly. But it also had the effect that me posting them, sometimes me recording the voiceovers to the training is kind of delayed. So this training session was, I think, on the day a week ago now. So I'm not really as fresh on what I was thinking at the time or how the session felt, but it was a good session in general. My top snatch sets were 75, as you can see here, for 6 or 8 sets, something like that. And generally they were fine. As always, I missed one, as you will see later. I also filmed 3 sets, I think, without my shirt, because I wanted to see how my back angle was looking, and it's kind of hard to tell with the shirt sometimes. So yeah, here's some bare-backed snatches from the back. And now one from the front. And as you can see, that's the one I failed, and the bar bumped into my ass. Pretty nice. But then the next few sets I made, so generally not a big problem. Here I had to step forward, but yeah, it is what it is sometimes. Anyways, that was, I think, the 7th or 8th session out of this small training block, basically. Usually I have my trainings blocks lasting longer, but now when I'm cutting, and also now that I'm back into Olympic weightlifting, this block was kind of short, so just 10 sessions, but it was not a completely separate block. I did some weightlifting for about 3 weeks before that, so in general the block, I think you could call it 5 to 6 weeks, which would be fine. But the trainings vlogs were basically, or will end up being, about 10 sessions, so this being the 7th, then there's the 8th coming, and then 9 and 10. And after that, I changed some things in the program, which is where I'm now, actually, that I'm recording this voiceover. But here at the time, I'm still within that block. And yeah, now moving on to upper body stuff, overhead presses and rows. 50 kilos for the overhead press, which is, yeah, it's fine. And I didn't feel like putting out a rack, so I'm just power cleaning this. Power clean doesn't really take all that much out of you. But as you can see, I'm not racking the power clean in the front rack position, but I'm keeping the bar in my hands all the time, because my overhead press grip is a bit narrower than my front rack or my front squat grip width, or even my jerk. So I'm not racking these on my collarbones, but keeping them in my hands, because it just feels better for the overhead press. So coming back to when the voiceover happens in comparison to when the video footage happens. Also, I think almost all the vlogs I uploaded until now were basically finished before I uploaded the first one. And now I also have some feedback on how they performed. The first few generally performed quite a lot better than I thought. Usually I don't get many views, so I think between 20 and 30, maybe something like that. Sometimes even below 10. And I think the first vlog got like 50, which was kind of amazing. Second, a bit less than that. And I think it was the third one that got over 100 views. I really have no idea why. Generally felt very happy about that. I think it might have to do something with the fact that the thumbnail was a bit more let's say, clickbait-ish, because I took the photo from the one snatch I missed and I wrote disaster over it. So maybe it was a bit clickbaity, but I mean, I failed the snatch after all. It wasn't really a disaster, but it certainly was a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, the one I posted yesterday performed the worst out of all of them, I think. So I don't know why that is. Maybe the thumbnail wasn't good. Maybe people were just thinking, okay, it's all the same. I don't know. I also post them on Instagram in my story with a link, but I looked like out of the 6 times, I think I looked 4 times, and there usually was like one person that used the link. So I don't think a lot of the views came from Instagram. So for the most part, I don't think it's people that know me. Maybe it's subscribers, or maybe it's just non-subscribers that randomly happened over the video, which would make sense in terms of the thumbnail. And yeah, I think the last one had also a really bad click-through rate, which is basically, yeah, just how good your title and thumbnail look to the average person who saw it, whatever. Yeah, usually I would do ring push-ups here, but the rings were kind of, I don't know what the problem was, but as soon as you put any sort of weight onto it, let's say anything more than 10 kilos or something like that, when you pushed against it, they just went loose. So I had to adapt, and instead of the ring push-ups, I just did some, I don't know, what do you call them? Decline deficit push-ups, something like that. And also combined with chin-ups once again. I pushed the chin-ups a bit harder on this training session because I was just feeling it. And I think I got 2 sets of 12 and a set of 8, something like that. Which, considering it was after quite heavy snatches and also some rowing, is pretty fine. I'm happy with that. I mean, it's not impressive for fitness, Instagram or YouTube standards, but considering that most people have a hard time doing pull-ups, or maybe most males in my age would have a hard time doing more than one clean push-up or pull-up. Push-up, not so much pull-up. I'm sorry, I'm just talking shit. Yeah, considering most people have a hard time doing pull-ups at all, doing 12 in a row in a fatigue state is certainly fine. And then just some accessories, nothing much to talk about that really. I want to circle back to the whole views and YouTube stuff. Like, sometimes I think about, why am I doing these videos? In the beginning of the channel, the main intention was certainly to basically create a space where someone getting into strength training could get all or almost all the information he or she needs to start training. So basic nutrition knowledge, basic programming knowledge, and most of all, exercise execution. But after posting, like, I don't know, maybe the first 15 videos or something, I quickly realized that if you're a small channel, the chance of newbies coming to your channel is quite small. Because generally, people that are not into whatever field will see stuff, videos, whatever content, blogs, whatever it be, from the larger creators first, because that's just the first thing that pops up when you search whatever squat. And smaller channels, for the most part, I would think, get watched more so by a community that is already somewhat into whatever we're talking about, lifting in this case. So as a small channel, creating content for newbies or beginners, it doesn't seem like the best idea, especially considering that I don't want to make it extremely clickbaity. I'm not extremely muscular or lean or strong, and I certainly don't have a ton of money I can throw at video editing and whatever, marketing. So yeah, kind of leaves the question open for what viewership am I making content now, and to be honest, I'm not totally sure. Along the way, I certainly got a love for creating videos itself, so even if it would not be fitness, I would still enjoy making videos. And so I think I'm just gonna experiment a bit. Some videos I did were already kind of experimenting. I think the one I did about sustained weight loss that performed the best out of all my videos with over 1,000 views, which was amazing. So I mean the 1,000 views, not the video, although I think the video was good too. But that was a bit more higher production value, I say, and it was fun, but it was also a lot of work. And the next video I'll post, I think probably tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow from the day, from when I say this to also when the video is uploaded, should be a video on Athlete X, and I'm a bit frightened isn't the right term, but nervous, because it is a video about another creator. It is somewhat of a critique. It was also very time intensive, and it certainly is a bit of another risky move per se, but certainly gives me some tingles thinking about posting it, because I'm quite confident in what the video wants to say, but critiquing other people is still always a bit of a risky move, because you don't know how other people will perceive it, how the person will perceive it. Yeah, so anyway, we'll see how tomorrow's video, or maybe it's gonna be a few more days, I'm not sure, will perform, and how the general consensus of the viewership will be on that. Yeah, so anyways, here just some overhead walks and some hanging leg raises. Overhead walks just for the fun of it, and leg raises to get the abs into it a bit more with a very stylish jump. I think we're gonna end it here. I could still talk a bit more about whatever. I very much enjoyed today's voiceover. It was not really about the training, but it was just about talking a bit. But I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. As always, you're very welcome to leave me some criticism in the comments below. Also, this time I'm filming the voiceover with my new phone, so hopefully it's better quality than the other microphone, which makes me really question, why do you buy a camera and a microphone if a somewhat good phone can do all of this better? But anyways, that's all for today, guys. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.